Welcome to Focus on the Candidates. My name is Cynthia Pooler. My guest today is Daniel Butierez, and Daniel is running for the special election in Arizona. And he's going to talk about the race and, you know, what's going on. So, how's it going from your perspective, Daniel?
It's been going pretty good. Got a lot of people active. We don't have as much money as I'd like to have, but we've got all the counties, even counties that aren't part of CD7, that have joined in to help us.
So, when's this special election?
Ballots drop on Wednesday, which is the 27th, and the election
September.
itself is the 23rd of September. So,
Okay. Okay. So is it still real hot down in Arizona?
oh yeah, yes,
Oh,
it is.
is it below 100?
No,
Really?
yeah, no, it's been at 112, 113.
And at night, how cold, how chilly does it get?
Probably 90 degrees,
Oh my God.
maybe 80.
I have a friend who has a daughter that lives right outside Phoenix, and he said the pool water is like a bath water and it's not really refreshing. Yep. So you're running in this special election, and you ran 2 years ago, last year
Yeah,
actually,
actually, yep.
because the incumbent passed away, and now his daughter is trying to fill the seat. So give us a little background about that.
Well, Adelita, she's been on the board of supervisors and she decided she wants to run. Now, interestingly enough, there in New York, you have a similar candidate running for the mayor of New York as I'm running to get for here in CD7. She's she's a progressive. And let me tell you that progressivism and communism are just a little different. Communism believes in the government controls all the property and nobody has any private property. They own nothing. The state owns it all. Progressivism doesn't take your property. They just regulate your business and take all your profits and let you run your business.
Mm-hmm.
And with the regulations and all the taxes they hit you with, you wind up losing your business eventually. And that's kind of what's happening here in Tucson because the gal I'm running against was the chair of the Pima County Board of Supervisors. And her father was Raul Grijalva, very progressive. The mayor's progressive, the Board of Supervisors progressive, the city council is progressive, our sheriff is progressive, the mayor, I mean, it just goes on and on. And then they wonder why there's so many homeless in our streets and why crime here in Tucson has gone off the charts. As a matter of fact, some of our crime impacted some people from New York. You do know? I'm sure you heard about it. There was a young couple were coming from California on the bus. They were headed back home to New York. They stopped off in Tucson, and that's where the young lady's husband died at the hands of a crazy homeless person with a hatchet. Chopped him in the back of the neck. He was in the hospital for a few days and he passed away.
Was the homeless person a U.S. citizen or an immigrant from another country?
He was a U.S. citizen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But our homeless crisis here in Tucson has gotten so out of control. We have free city buses. Our roads aren't getting fixed because the city has mismanaged the money. But that's what progressivism is. These are people that have never owned or operated a business. They've never worked for a living. They're just politicians who think they know how to run everything, and
Mm-hmm.
they're running it straight into the ground.
Okay, so there's just less than a handful of seats in the Congress right now. The majority could swing either way, Republican or Democrat. What interests me so much about your campaign is the fact you told me that you're not getting the support from Washington that you feel you should be getting.
No, and not at all. I haven't heard anything from them, and which is fine. I've got no big pack donors. I have put in a little over 200,000. That's my own money, and that means I'm a man for the people. Nobody owns me, nobody controls me, and we're going to win this. And it'll be
Okay,
the people that are behind me.
okay. So what you're saying, is important. But with all of the brouhaha about the redistricting in California, they're trying to manipulate the districts so that they would get, a majority of and that could sway the
Democrats.
congressional elections. So if there's so much controversy over gerrymandering to win a majority in the House of Representatives, I, for the life of me, cannot understand why the Republicans are not backing you to the hilt so that you could win that seat.
Well, the reason is because I'm running for a district that has been gerrymandered by the Democrats. Um, and that's all right. We're going to beat it regardless because I am out working and campaigning to the Democrats who are looking at our city going, okay, we want change. They're not wanting to keep going down this path. And what's going to happen that as far as Congress doing the gerrymandering, they're just threatening to do it. They're not going to do it because if they do it, they will lose Democratic seats. California has been shifting red big time. So if they were to go in there and try and gerrymander, they would probably wind up losing some seats rather than gaining some seats. So I don't see them doing that. Texas, on the other hand, it was gerrymandered, and now they're undoing the gerrymanders, what they're doing.
Okay.
And
And so my question to you is, if gerrymandering is the rule where the um, people in Washington would help you or not help you, then then the state legislature's to blame, right?
yep.
Well,
Yeah. Well, it's been a little crazy here. Looking at the different people, I just got off the phone with Russ Clark in Yuma. He's a radio. It's a Russ Clark show because I listened to a gentleman that was on his show and he was all upset. I mean, he was just all upset that no one's helping and the guy that's running for CD7. And Russ told him, "You mean Daniel Butierez, right?" He goes, "Yes, no one's giving him any money." And Russ says, "Well, that may be, no, he may not have a lot of money, but everybody is working hard for him." And he goes, "No, they're not helping him enough." And so I had to call into the show and thank everybody in Yuma that are actually out there working. We all of Southern Arizona right now is working overtime to to win this seat. So
but in my observations on congressional races, when Washington picks the leadership in Washington picks a particular district that they want to support, they will pour tons and tons and tons of money into that campaign, win, lose, or draw. but you said that it was gerrymandered by the
Democrats.
right, by the state legislature. So
Yeah.
state legislatures and Washington, D.C. do not work hand in hand, if my assumption is correct.
Yep. No, you're right.
Really?
Yep. Um,
That's a big problem.
yes, it is. And what I'm planning on winning this race, but I see that if I don't win this race, it's going to be so close, neck and neck, that when I take my wife fishing next year and say the heck with this, that
Uh-huh.
the Republicans are going to jump in and try and put someone in, and they'll throw all kinds of money behind that guy, and that person will lose. And that's because this is a really complex district that most candidates don't understand. They don't grasp the connection with the Hispanic people. And and I know they're going to think they can throw somebody in here to run from some other state. And I actually know the individual that they're planning on running next time if I don't win. But he doesn't stand a chance of winning. Not a chance. I don't care how much money they throw at him. He can't win because see the Pima County, Tucson, which controls CD7, is too Hispanic, too connected. They're too close to the outer society. They will never vote for somebody that's not born and raised here. Just the way it is. That doesn't matter how much money they throw at them. If they're not born and raised here, nobody knows who they are.
Okay, let me ask you this. Is the Republican Congressional Committee,
The NRC.
are they aware of the political situation in your district?
Oh yeah.
They are
I've actually
aware of
spoke
it.
with the NRC, and they told me they were going to get back to me, and that didn't happen. And the bottom line is, they don't think this district could be won, so they're not going to throw any money in, which blows my mind. Because had they been trying to win this district 10 years ago, it would be red today.
Uh-huh.
But they haven't ever tried. I mean, they've never tried to flip the district. So it leaves me saying, it makes me feel like there's people higher up that have made a deal to leave this and get Democrat control. I mean, that's the way I feel. The
Uh-huh.
lack of help that we're receiving from anyone, when this is our one chance to do it, that I feel like someone made a deal.
Wow. So, in the event that you do not win this special election, do you think that Washington will ever try to flip this seat?
Eh, I think Trump will get behind the next guy that runs because he's actually connected with Trump. But Trump only got 38% of CD7. So this
Okay.
isn't a big Trump land. And I I think if they don't win it this time, I don't think they'll ever win it because I'm done. I'm out of money. I'm out of energy, and I'm probably the only Republican that could win this district. And I've just run out of money. So
Now, when did you decide to run? You ran the last cycle.
yeah,
Was
I
that
ran
your
last time, and I decided to run in 2022.
okay?
I was actually I thought about in 2021 running, and they had a guy named Pozzolo that was running, so I let him run, and then he got beat by Grijalva, and he didn't put in to run again. So I decided to put into the race to run because you
Mhm.
got to run two times. There's no way you're going to walk into a race with an incumbent run and win.
Okay. Now, at that point, when you first ran for this seat, did you know that your opponent had cancer?
I didn't know until after I was running. I found out after we were running. I found out February of 2024. The beginning of 2024 is when I found out he had cancer. And that's because I actually knew about it before he came out
Uh-huh.
because his family members had told me.
So, did he campaign hard? Did he campaign a little or not at all?
Not at all.
Not at all. And what percentage of the vote did he get? What percentage of
He
the
got
vote
he
did
got
you get?
okay. He got, I believe, 63%, and I got 60 or 37%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
And everybody in Washington, the Democrats, the leadership of the Democrats knew he had cancer, right?
oh yeah. Yep.
And they didn't ask him to step aside.
Nope. And the girl and his daughter knew he had cancer. They all knew he was dying. I knew he was dying.
Mm-hmm.
I knew when he came out and announced his cancer, I already knew he was dying. It wasn't something he was going to fight. And then it was confirmed again after he came out and said he was all done with it. He was done with his chemo for now, which told me that means he had done the chemo, it didn't work, and he was hoping to do it again. But I'd already heard that his health was not, his heart couldn't take it. So I knew he was dying. And his daughter, if I knew it, his daughter knew
So at that point, she became the heir apparent, right?
it. Yeah, of the throne. I thought we were in America, but I guess we're not.
Wow.
And she was out on tour with AOC and Bernie Sanders, and they did their uh no oligarchy. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, remember that? No
Mhm.
oligarchy. And then she steps in like she's the heir to the throne, an oligarchy.
Wow.
The
Wow.
hypocrisy is unbelievable sometimes in this political realm.
But I'm sure it's not just not in Arizona. It's
Oh
got to
no.
be all over. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's everywhere. It's our country's in sad shape where with politicians. And and we need businessmen that go in and become politicians when
Mhm.
that like it used to be. I mean, that's the way this was founded. Farmers, when they're ready to retire,
Right.
they went into Washington. They gave service to our country,
Right.
and it wasn't paid. Now
Right.
these are career politicians that are making all this big money and just
Right.
they get in there. I'm sure there's some that go in there with great plans and they really want to do the right thing. And then after they've been in there for a few years, all of a sudden they're just, hey, help out this buddy and help out that buddy. And they forget about we the people,
Mm.
which is why we need term limits.
So, um, tell me again, when will the election be?
The ballots, early voting is August 27th, which is this coming Wednesday.
Mhm.
And the election day is September 23rd. So we're
You
almost
have a
up in this.
month. You have a month of early voting?
Oh yeah, well we got to do that because it takes them a month here in Arizona to count
What?
them. Oh yeah, that last election was so embarrassing. Arizona, look, we were a mockery. We were. It took a month to count. As a matter of fact, mining, Grijalva's race, they still haven't finished counting it. They
Wow.
had like 41,000 votes left that had not been counted.
Mhm.
It's unbelievable here in Arizona, but we
In New
need to
York,
go.
in New York, we have early voting, but our early voting lasts a week.
Yeah, well, ours is a month, and everybody gets a ballot mailed out to them, and then they wonder why people would not trust our elections. You know, I mean, you mail everybody. They were mailing. Everyone got a ballot mailed. I got my ballot mailed to me. I threw it away because I go in to vote. I don't mail in my vote. I go in to vote. And but they would just mail them to everybody. So
So let me ask you this. Like when I've done early voting ever since it started. So I go into the polling place, I get the ballot, I fill it out, I put it in the machine. You're telling me that every registered voter in Arizona gets their ballot mailed to them?
yep, this was the first election since they started doing these mailing ballots to everybody. They started that during the coronavirus. That was their excuse to send everyone a ballot. So they continued to do that. And this year, they said no more. Everybody's upset. You can't be sending everyone a ballot because people like me, I'm not going to fill out my ballot. I'm going to go down and vote. But people were stealing people's ballots and filling them out. I mean, there was a lot of fraud. And I don't care what they say, there was a lot of fraud. That's just a fact. And it was because everyone got mailed a ballot. Some people never vote. So someone pick up their ballot, mark their box, and drop it in for them. I mean, this is how bad it was.
Really? Now, did anybody come in to inspect this or say anything or, try to correct it?
Oh, they've said a lot about it, but knowing it's happening and proving it is two different things.
Okay.
I mean, there is no question that that there's some election integrity going on. A lack of election integrity. That's an absolute fact, and no one can really argue that. The problem here is in 2016, the Democrats said they stole the election. Remember that? Trump stole the election from Hillary. Even Hillary said her election was stolen. It was we dealt with that. And then in 2020, when the Republicans say the election was stolen, all of a sudden they're conspiracy theorists and yada yada yada. Listen, both sides have called elections stolen, which means that the integrity of our elections are in question, which is harmful to democracy. So we need to fix our elections. That's just common sense.
So, what's happening to you? Would you say is happening to other candidates in other districts?
Well, right now I'm the only candidate. I mean, there's no
Well,
other
right,
candidate in any other districts. This is the only federal race. So,
right. But when I'm talking about when you ran in 2024, would you say
oh,
what you're saying is not happens not only in your district, but other districts throughout the
oh
country?
yeah, yeah. Everybody here in Arizona, that our elections have been in question for quite some time, and it has a lot to do with we get a month to vote, and they mail down everybody their ballots. Everybody got a ballot. I mean, my wife and I both got our ballots mailed us, and we don't ever do mail-in ballots voting. We always go down to vote. So,
So when you for a person who fills out a mail-in ballot and it gets down to the Board of Elections, if the Board of Elections opens it up, I don't know if they can, but if they would you say that a lot of it is thrown out?
Oh, no. No, I don't think anything's thrown out.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't think anything's thrown out.
okay. So if with the mail-in ballots, how would you say they're manipulated?
Well, the individual I'm running against
Mhm,
had people out harvesting the ballots in the primary. And they caught him doing that, but nothing's going to happen with it because we have a really bad attorney general who's not going. Chris Mays is not going to do anything against Adelita, and that was in the Democrats against Democratic race in the primary. They
mhm,
were caught harvesting ballots, and what that is they go to people's houses and they take their ballots, and we're not allowed to touch someone else's ballot, but they gather up all the ballots and they take them down and then they drop them, and that's against the law. That's illegal. And they actually were on. This is how dumber people were. They posted all the ballots they had, and they were actually getting paid for whoever got harvested the most. So they were going to people's houses and getting their ballots and dropping them off, which we can't do. We can take the individual down so they can drop it off, but we can't take their ballot down.
mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there anything else you'd like to say about election fraud?
Yeah, that's about all that's, it's just those mail-in ballots. And well, I got something else to say
Okay.
on it. Here's the bad part. Look at all the other countries that have done away with mail-in ballots. Mexico ended it. Uh, just about every country in the world has done mail-in ballots at one time or another, and they
Mhm.
ended them because of the fraud. So,
Well, so um l- I would love to have you back on Focus on the Candidates after this special election to talk about exactly what transpired. Would you be willing to
sure,
do that?
absolutely.
And if something happens between now and election day that you feel is noteworthy, contact me and we'll do another show.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you've been listening to Daniel Butierez. I'm Cynthia Pooler. This is Focus on the Candidates. So if you like this show, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks, Daniel. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Have a wonderful day.
See you later, Cynthia.
Okay.